So, at a grammar school, moving into junior high school, bullying continues. How's that go?
Bullying continues, fight my way through it. At that point, it's like I felt like I broke free from that chapter of bullying. And high school was cool. High school was good. College was great. And then, grad school was even better.
So, no bullying after you stood up for
Yeah,
yourself?
no bullying after
High
I stood
school at
up.
all?
No.
Because usually high school is where the real drama
Yeah, no,
starts.
it didn't. It
I'm not
didn't.
saying you didn't have drama, but you knew how to handle it and you wasn't a victim.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was good after that fight.
And college?
No bullying in college.
But how was your experience?
Oh, my experience, I went away to college. I went to SUNY Westbury for 4 years, studied media and communication as well as American studies. I was part of like a dance team there or whatever. And
What kind of dance?
Hip hop.
Okay.
So I was dancing hip hop. I was also doing choreography. And I think that that was my therapeutic space. So I spent more time in a dance studio than I actually did academically. But
Like a release? Like a to get your emotions out,
no, I just think that, yeah, well, you know what? It probably was, yeah. It probably was that. And I love music and I love dancing. And that's where I found my happy place
Okay.
at. And going away to college, I went away when I was already, 17, 18 years old. So I felt like I was already grounded to some degree. So going away wasn't that much of a transition for me. If anything, I was looking at everybody else like, oh, they wild. Like
Yeah.
what they're doing, I'm not doing that because I already did that back home.
You were seasoned.
Yeah, I was seasoned. So I went in grounded, and thank God I did go in grounded because then I knew like, okay, I have a purpose here. My purpose is to.
Had you not experienced that before, you would have been into just wilding out.
I would have been wilding out. I
'Cause
probably would have never even finished school.
Yeah, most college stories are that. When
Right.
you ask anybody, how was college? Oh, they were wild.
Right.
I was doing this. I experimented with that, but you had ran through it already. So you came in focused on some, let me do what I came here to do.
Right. And I still have fun, but
Of course, but you
yeah.
knew how to balance it because you went through that shit already.
Right.
Okay. Who were you hanging out with? What was your circle like? How did they add or shape who you became?
So the women now that I hung out with, these are my childhood friends. This is like my tribe. They have always been. I have friendships with them for over 25 years. So to me, they're family and they're sisters. And I think that we all shaped each other because we all grew up together. We all experienced a lot of the same stories to some degree. And we grew up as young girls into women, and the experiences of the growth, like I would never change my tribe. I always say that the one thing that I have been blessed with, one of my blessings, is the fact of the women that are in my life and my friends. Supportive, educated,
I don't hear
talented.
That often. I don't hear it often from women. Usually when you mention women to other women, it goes off the rails. I don't hear too much positivity. I think I interviewed one other person who had a similar story. She grew up, they went through it, and they're her family now. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how I would be able to continue to function in life without the women that are in my life, and I wouldn't change it. I hear a lot of stories as well. And women can be very catty and very envious and jealous. I think it's just in our nature, but that is not what I experience with the women that I'm in.
Okay. What was a dream you had as a child that you thought you wanted to be when you grew up?
My dream as a child was always to be an entertainer, either an entertainer, a dancer, a singer. Like I wanted to be in entertainment.
Did you pursue it at all?
I attempted to pursue it, and then I think after college, I went away to go and work for Disney because I thought that that's where I was going to have my breakthrough in dancing.
So you were trying to get into the dance field.
Yeah. It didn't happen, and then reality hit that I had to work. I had to pay bills, and somehow I ended up in the profession of social work. So never really fulfilled the dream of dancing.
You still dance though?
I still dance.
Even if it's cleaning the house, but
Yeah.
you still dance.
Yeah.
Can't never let that go.
Yeah. It's now my hobby.
Yeah, you gotta do it. What would you change if you could about your childhood?
Honestly, I don't think that there's anything that I would change, because I think even with the hardship, it has built a foundation for me. It is exactly what I needed to get me where I'm at today. I think the only thing would probably be just more resources, in terms of whether it was like being able to go to private school, or just
More opportunity?
More opportunity. Like, I think more opportunity, and probably just more mentors that I didn't really have as a younger kid. And I think the community was just learning from the community, but there weren't any true leaders directing us.
Telling you can go this way, you can do this.
Right.
It doesn't have to only be this.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Okay. What's a constant worry you had growing up that you felt helpless in resolving? Did you ever resolve it or come to letting it go as an adult?
I think the constant worry was that I was in a rush to just get older and be out in the world.
Live.
Yeah, like I didn't want that authority figure on me telling me what to do, because
So I guess that helped you build patience, because you can't grow up faster than you can grow up.
It did. I'm a very patient person.
Okay.
And yes, I think the worry of just wanting to grow up, and now I just say, don't grow up too fast. Like, take your time, because
you realize you should have.
Now I'm like, I wish I could go back and
enjoy
just
that
chill.
childhood a little more.
Yes.
Yeah. When some bills hit.
Something I tell my son all the time as well.
When reality hits hard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you like best and least about yourself?
I think that what I like best about myself is that, for the most part, I could accept people for who they are. I think I'm a great listener. I think I'm funny. I think I'm compassionate. And I know how to show up when I need to show up. The thing that I least like about myself is that I get in my head too much, and I could be a worrywart.
How do you mean?
Meaning that I'm so analytical in my brain, right, that I have to pick apart every single thing, and there's a theory, and there's, like, I have to analyze every single thing, and I'm learning to just like let it flow, let it be.
Did you have? Well, you said you were into dancing.
Yes.
I was going to ask you, did you have any passions or hobbies? So dancing.
Dancing.
Okay. Tell me a funny story or situation involving you.
A funny story or situation. So I think during my college years, I was always peeing on myself.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Was it intentional?
It was not intentional, but we would be at parties, or, in ciphers, whatever it was. And, if we
back
were...
up. Hold on. You're not going to skip over. Did you say you was in ciphers?
Ciphers.
So in the middle of some bars, you just said...
I would start to laugh because I just love being around people that make me laugh, and I like to make people laugh. And it was like every party was at wherever we would go, I'd be like, oh my God, I gotta pee. And then all of a sudden, like, I couldn't hold it anymore, and I would just pee on myself.
You was dropping more than bars.
And thank God that I never smelled like piss.
You had some clean urine.
Yeah, I had some straight water. That's what I had.
Oh my God. Did they give you a nickname behind it?
Nah. I think like everyone knew, like, all right, she's not a pee-pee girl, like to be a pee-pee girl, but
That's hilarious. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, left you.
Tell me a situation you thought was dangerous and you thought you might not get out safe.
So back in the days, there was a whole lot of like party jams and house jams, and they were very, very, like, we risk our lives a whole lot. Like, I think at every house jam we went, there was a shootout every time. And it's like, you know, the shots was fired and then we'd be like, all right, now we back to partying again. And I think that
Thinking back, you're like,
yeah. I remember being in a house jam and I was like right next to the DJ at the time. I think it was DJ Hess from Kingsbridge or whatever. And all of a sudden he was playing Onyx. Throw your guns in the air, right? We were wild, everybody's jumping, whatever, and all of a sudden somebody came out with a shotgun.
they really took that song to heart.
They took it to heart and they just shot up in the air. I mean, like this, I don't know how somebody didn't die in the apartment
neighbors upstairs,
right? And then I remember like it was such a traumatic experience that I was in shock, right? Like I was in shock and I didn't move. And my friend was on the other side of the apartment and she just ran to me and just smacked me right in the face. I think to like wake me out of, yeah. So when I think of it's that.
Wow.
It's that. Fun times though. I mean,
ain't it crazy?
Fun times.
It's the wildest situations you look back, only because we survived. You'd be like, wow, that was fun.
And then we were protected, you know, like the higher powers.
Yeah, somebody was watching over
taking
you.
Care of
so many people are gone now. Somebody was watching over you specifically.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your favorite food as a child? What's your diet like now as an adult? And what brought on the change, if any?
My favorite food has always been, I guess, like Spanish and Italian food. It's still my favorite food. Diet-wise, I will not sit here and say that I am like you're vegan or you're vegetarian. Like, I try to be mindful of what I eat, but I don't practice the healthiest eating habits.
Okay.